Hello, everyone, and welcome in to CrushTheStreet.com. Today, I'm really excited because I'm joined today with both David Sidhu and Ross McElroy of Advantage Lithium. David Sidhu, of course, is the CEO and co-founder of Advantage Lithium, and Ross is actually a director and a lead technical advisor, world-renowned geologist on the team of Advantage Lithium, and they're on the line today to discuss the lithium space with me and an exciting investment idea. And our sister site, Future Money Trends, initiated coverage of Advantage Lithium just a couple weeks ago, and I wanted my subscribers to be introduced to this amazing story as well, because it really is something special. There's an amazing team, which you're going to hear about today in this interview, and just some anomalies. And lithium is certainly something worth your attention. First of all, David Sidhu, he's the CEO and co-founder. He's got a strong track record of taking companies from startup to successful sale, delivering substantial shareholder value. And he's a founder and a significant shareholder of American Oil and Gas. And this is a company which was sold for over $630 million, delivering serious shareholder value. And every time I speak with David, he's somewhere around the world adding relentless value to shareholders of Advantage Lithium. And Mr. Ross McElroy, again, another anomaly, world-renowned geologist. He has nearly 30 years of experience in the mining industry. He's the winner of the PDAC Bill Dennis Award for Exploration Success and the Northern Miners Mining Person of the Year Award. And both of these men are going to give us some insight on lithium and their new venture they are both a part of. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Ken, for having us. Pleasure.
David, let's start off with you. How opportune is it to be looking at mining stocks during this correction? Obviously, with what has been going on in the resource space over the last few weeks, many individual investors might have felt like they missed out on the gains, during 2016, but they're getting an opportunity to enter this space here. And I just want to get your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this, David?
Well, Ken, different areas of mining have different fundamentals, and just because some are faring badly right now doesn't mean they all are. For example, uranium is having a terrible time, yet lithium is booming. And if you look at the smart money like Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, companies like that, and individuals like that, Rick Rule, Eric Spott, who are following our company, they're smart money, and they look at each industry and act accordingly. And if you look at where we're at right now in this so-called lithium boom, it's a non-correlated asset, really, to any other metal price. We're looking at a long-term move away from the hydrocarbons, and I liken this right now to the beginning of the gold rush in 1848 and the gold rush of 1890s. We're just at the lower level of a boom, and there's a lot more upside here.
Ross, you've had an extensive mining career, and I would venture to say that many people's stomachs are upside down watching the sector move the way it has over the last few weeks. But what does your intuition tell us about the current environment?
Well, I think first of all we have to understand that a lot of these commodities are very cyclical, and David already touched on the fact that lithium's at the beginning of the cycle, and it's a revolution that's happening essentially in battery storage, and lithium's the primary driver. I think it's going to be a very long-lived cycle because the world is changing significantly, primarily driven by the automotive industry turning electrical, but there's a need in just about everything. So I think that lithium is here to stay, and obviously when it comes back to companies like ours, it's the company with the better projects that are really going to have the legs that will take advantage in this market.
Mm-hmm. David, you're the co-founder, you're the CEO of Advantage Lithium. Let's ask the question, why lithium? Is there a real demand for it, and does it go beyond the flashy Tesla story?
That's a good question, and I think the short answer and the short version is absolutely. It goes way beyond just the electrical vehicles. You have General Motors, Volkswagen, as I mentioned, Warren Buffett. You have a new company in Austria now that's working with McLaren. Obviously, you've got Tesla. You've got the big Gigafactory. They spent billions of dollars on building that in Nevada. They're putting billions and billions of dollars into electrical vehicles right now. And there's also countless electronic devices needing batteries. And now you've got the energy storage market developing, hand over fist. And Tesla was just awarded a large contract in California to upgrade the power grids there. So there's a tremendous amount of upside and potential for lithium worldwide, and I think it's going to continue. And if you start looking at countries like China and India, where there's billion-person population, and the costs for these lithium batteries continue to drop, and the cost of vehicles to produce vehicles, battery-powered vehicles and electric vehicles drops, you're going to see more and more people getting involved in creating this energy sort of saving type of a phenomenon. And this is what Ross was talking about early on. It's just the beginning, and I see that this is going to continue long into the next 2 or 3 decades. Right now, you've only got 20% of electrical vehicles in the United States, and we see that number going much higher. There was a forecast today that Tesla just published in their quarterly news release here that they topped analyst estimates for their third quarter. They delivered close to 25,000 electric vehicles into the United States. Most of the bullish people, Ken, were thinking between 22 to 24,000 was a good range, and they topped that. And they feel by fourth quarter of this year they're going to have over 50,000 in the hands of the public, and that's just means that the market's just starting to is just beginning right now, and there's a lot more upside.
Ross, after having such an extensive career in mining, what led you to lithium? Why not gold? Why not silver? What led you to lithium?
I think again, the real idea here is that the lithium revolution, in my opinion, is just beginning. It's, as David mentions, like the gold back in the 1800s, the gold rush back in the 1800s, consider what happened when the petroleum market really took off, and the world started running on fossil fuels. Well, now the world's changing, and it's starting to run a lot more on electrical power. So if it's something you want to get involved in, from a geologist, from a mining perspective, you're looking for something that has a long life and that investors will want over the long term. And that's one of the reasons why I'm particularly excited to be involved in lithium.
Well, actually, that leads me right into my next question, and I'll leave this open to either one of you. How unique is lithium in its industrial uses, and can it easily be replaced in these industrial usages?
Ross, I think that's a good one for you to start off with. But I just mentioned wanted to mention the fact that lithium's proven to be a highly effective material for batteries, and now the battery uses has expanded, Ken, as far as supporting power grids, as per Tesla's recent multi-billion dollar contract they got with California. Lithium's become heavily embedded in the battery industry right now, and I just see that it's going to be very difficult. It's the money that's been spent by these major companies, the billions of dollars into research and the technology, and you're getting costs dropping. 71% decrease in the last 6 years from 1,400 per kWh kilowatt to 400, and likely dropping to 150. Just makes this an irreplaceable type of an asset in the marketplace. And maybe Ross could maybe clarify a little bit more of that, but that's my feeling about lithium.
Sure, Ross. Did you have anything to add to that?
I would echo all of that. I just see that I don't think anything's here to replace lithium. What lithium is doing is actually replacing other elements, and it's really all about battery and power storage, and that's where now you're starting to see on the shelves in every Home Depot store, every department store, every auto lot now is really focusing on electric power, because that's what lithium's been able to do, is to increase basically the battery storage, the electrical storage ability of batteries, and nothing else has the qualities that lithium has for producing these massive storage facilities. So I think lithium really is here for the long term.
Well, David, let's introduce everyone more closely to Advantage Lithium. Again, we initiated coverage on Future Money Trends, but we want to introduce everyone here at Crush the Street. Why is it opportune to be researching Advantage Lithium at the moment?
Well, there's three real focuses when I look at buying a stock or investing in a company. And number one is the people behind it. Obviously, number two is the sector that they're in, and number three, does the management team have the ability to raise enough capital to get, lack of a better word, to the goal line and get into production? And I'm really pleased to have a very strong management team that I'm working with, and I think that's been one of my biggest fortes, my relationship building characteristics. You talked a little bit about myself early on in terms of building companies. All those companies you talked about in the outset, American Oil and Gas, Gasco Energy, and now Advantage Lithium, they all took between 4 to 5 years to develop and put together with the assets and the management team and funding. And we either sold them to majors or they're listed on a major stock exchange and have raised hundreds of millions of dollars for those projects. And with this company, Advantage Lithium, obviously I've got Ross heading up my geological team. Ross, as you mentioned, is a real star geologist. He's a very humble guy and doesn't like us talking too much about this, but he's made 2 major discoveries in the last 3 years. He's won the Bill Dennison Award for exploration success. That's like winning the best Oscars, director for best Oscars, at the Oscars rather, and Northern Miners Mining Person of the Year. And my very good friend who I've known for over 3 decades and done lots of business with is another company builder, Dev Randhawa. He's built 3 successful uranium companies. He was Finance Monthly's Deal Maker of the Year, the Northern Miners Mining Person of the Year, and Dev has raised over $220 million in the last several years in his last 2 deals, and particularly in uranium when no one cared about uranium. Doug Leishman, who was my analyst at Yorkton Securities when we found Voisey Bay, and many other mines there while we were at Yorkton with Frank Justra. He was our main analyst. He's joined our team on the geological side of things. And we've got some strong banking relationships. And, we're just in the throes of finishing off our next $5 million financing. That'll put about $8.5 million in the bank. And we just started this company 4 months ago, Ken. And to build the asset base we have from exploitation assets that we have right now in Nevada, where we're about to drill 3 holes close to Albemar's pumping station. Albemar's, for your listeners, is the only producing company in North America right now. It's the largest 300-pound gorilla that we have down in Nevada, and we're drilling 110 meters away from one of their pumping stations. We've got a 3-hole program that Ross can go into. We're looking at that as an exploitation type of a development type of an asset. And then we've got an asset we picked up in Argentina where we feel is very important for the company to continue to build its footprint there. We've got just under 1,500 hectares located right next to Orocobre's Salina Grande's asset. Orocobre is one of the only 2 producers in Argentina. They drilled a hole on the border of Salina Grande's where we picked up the Stella Maris property. And some of the lithium values there were almost 10 times what they were in Nevada. So a strategic pickup for us in that asset that we picked up. And that we're going to start doing a little bit of work on as well, and some more geophysics on that and some sampling. And then through a good friend of mine, Simon Ridgway, who's good friends with Doug Leishman as well. Simon's got a successful company listed on the New York Stock Exchange, Fortuna Gold. He was able to pick up more of a grassroots exploration company for us and assets for us through his company Radius in Mexico. And we've got a very large footprint there. So if you look at the management team we have, the ability of the management team to raise capital, and the ability to have exploitation/development assets, exploration assets in Argentina, and then grassroots assets in Mexico, we've got the portfolio that a young junior would be very envious of, and a management team that people would be very excited to back. And I think that's the main reason why I think the shareholders that have purchased our stock in the past and that may participate in our company now can be confident that we're going to do the right thing with the money that we raise, and we're serious about lithium and serious about developing a company that ends up in production at some point.
Yeah, certainly the ingredients for a very successful story to play out. Ross, with your extensive background, I mean, you know, as David pointed out, you know how to spot these deposits, and you were responsible for some very, very successful ones. And what are special about what Advantage Lithium has from your perspective, your technical perspective, that you can share with the audience?
Well, I just want to start by, again, echoing and building off what David covered. I mean, the reason when he presented how he was going to set up the company, what he was looking for, and the team that we were putting together, I jumped at the chance because I knew that we could start looking for some serious projects in the best locations possible. You know, and that's really what we've been able to do. So when we look at projects now that we've got next to a producer in the Clayton Valley area in Nevada, well, there's no other junior that has property that's that close to production on the other side, as we've already shown, 110 meters away from pumping stations. I mean, it doesn't get any closer than that when you're looking to be right next, you know, when you're trying to build an asset and hunting for something. The best place to look is beside a producer. That's one of the things that you can look for. We have that in Nevada. We are, you know, have a very significant project in Argentina. Argentina is such a key player in the world production of lithium. It's one of the main go-to areas, and the fact that, again, our property is situated right beside an already identified and inferred measured resource there is extremely significant. I think we can move quickly from I guess concept and what we want to do in these properties to be able to drill and get results quickly through the drill bit. There's very few juniors that are in this kind of a position. Most people have land plays that might be further away, more conceptual in nature, but nothing is so quickly able to advance as what we have in our portfolio right now, and that's what really gets me excited.
Yeah. Well, David, Ross, kind of alluded to it, and I was just going to ask you, what does the 5-year plan roughly look like for the company?
I think the short answer to that one, Ken, is once we have some success in Nevada, which we feel geologically we look like we're going to have, we believe that Albemarle is probably going to approach us at some point and say, congratulations, you guys have developed a resource. You've got the water rights in Nevada, which are very critical. We're the only other company that has it in Nevada. We'd like to buy you guys out on the assets that you have in Clayton Valley and your water rights. And we've got our bankers have some connections directly into Albemarle, and that's something that we'll be considering in the next 24 months as we develop Nevada. And then as we build our footprint in Argentina, we are going to develop some key assets there and raise another $20 to $25 million as we build those assets out. And that probably will be our focus down the road after we, in the first 24 months, develop resource we're going to develop in Nevada, and then go to a larger footprint in Argentina. And when you talk about lithium and developing assets and getting to production, I visited some of those salars in Salta when Ross and I visited Argentina several weeks ago during the conference, and they're no easy place to work. Those companies there's about 4 or 5 of them that I call 300-pound gorillas that have invested hundreds of millions of dollars to de-risk these assets, set infrastructure up, get power, and develop mini plants to produce. They've de-risked the whole area. And, you look at that, and that took them 6, 7, 8 years and hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think in the next 5 years, you're going to see Advantage Lithium go from a company that had some great assets to a company that's going to develop into feasibility studies, raise more capital, and eventually get to production at some point in that 5-6 year period. And that's our goal.
Well, there you have it, everyone. I mean, this is really an early stage opportunity and an opportunity to really partner with all stars in the industry that just have the right recipe for how to turn a early stage project, and with the company only being around for 4 months and accomplishing all that they've done and taking it to that next level. If you want to be a part of that, I'm going to allow both of them to give us their closing thoughts here, and also where you can learn about the Advantage Lithium and how you can partner with the company. First, David, any closing thoughts? And please share where the audience can go to learn more about the company and partner with you guys.
Well, obviously, in a technological world where everyone goes to a website and all our information is there with our team and our assets at advantagelithium.com. That's number one. Number two, I just want to leave your listeners and audience with, in my mind, the gold standard of bankers is Goldman Sachs. And, Warren Buffett's a big investor at Goldman Sachs. And several months ago, they said we're just at the beginning of the boom of the lithium markets. Lithium will become the new gasoline of the future. And I really believe that. I believe we're in a long-term move away from hydrocarbons into this rush. And I don't think it's too late. I think it's the early stages, and if you pick the right management team that has the right group of assets with the ability to monetize those assets, and you be patient, that's how you make big money.
Mm. And Ross, anything you'd like to add in terms of closing thoughts?
Well, my philosophy in these things is great assets are very important, but you have to have the right management team. I look through that every investment I make. Not only am I interested in that commodity, what its future is all about, but it must be the company must be managed by the right group. That's going to make all the difference. And I think that shareholders appreciate the group that David's been able to put together here. I think lithium's here for the long term. And looking at our portfolio of projects, seeing an assembly line right from being right beside a producer through to maybe on the Mexican side where we have salars that are very underexplored, but we see great potential down there. We've got a pretty good spectrum of projects that shareholders should really pay attention to. So we're very happy. Thank you.
Well, I look forward to just watching and just being a part of this story play out and the development and just seeing where you guys lead us, because it really is something special that you guys are putting together here. And I really want to thank both of you for coming on the show with me today and sharing your passion and educating us on lithium and this unique opportunity.
Thank you very much for having us on, Ken. Really appreciate it, and we'll give you any update anytime you need it.